So Wolf matchup chart. Let's see. Zero Suit Samus, advantage. Wolf heavily outranges Zero Suit. Zero Suit's really airborne a lot, snipes her out of the air a lot. It's hard to get into, I won't get into crazy specifics, but this is definitely a matchup Zero Suit players would dislike, I would think. I think this is pretty common knowledge that Wolf does really well. He can contest with his air mobility. She's like crazy mobile character, but Wolf is similarly mobile in the air. He just has really generous hitboxes, big damage. Pretty simple. So for Zelda, for obscure matchups, it's hard to see if I should just put it in advantage or big advantage. This is probably big advantage. Wolf doesn't really get trapped by Zelda's setups because of his air mobility along with having a reflector. So like a lot of Zelda's strengths won't show up other than maybe some edge guard tricks, maybe some ledge trap tricks. Young Link isn't as mobile as Wolf in the air. Wolf's hitboxes are huge. Wolf can edge guard pretty easily because Nair is disjointed below him, so Young Link's up B doesn't win. Laser is like better than all of Young Link's projectiles. Yoshi is definitely either advantage or big advantage. You can't have any fun against Yoshi, but I think that's with every character. It's not like a Wolf thing. You can't touch his shield. Yoshi is good out of shield, a good shield in general, and Wolf shield pressure isn't as good numbers wise. You have better hitboxes, better projectile. You kind of just play hit for hit. You both have crazy mobility, but Wolf's just a better character. If you play it really slow, it's probably a big advantage matchup. I think characters that are going to be going in advantage are probably going to be actual really good characters that just happen to not win. A lot of these characters in big advantage are not going to be as relevant in the meta. Wii Fit, definitely big advantage. Projectile based characters or characters with like awkward hitboxes definitely just lose. You have reflectors, you have generous hitboxes. There's not too much to worry about other than playing it slow when she gets deep breathing like any other character would, but you have all the means to do that. So what Wario does have that doesn't make it too bad is better out of shield. He has very simple quick responses to pretty much any misplaced pressure from Wolf, along with having some great edge guards and just being Wario in general. But Wolf heavily outranges Wario while having similar mobility. That's a very big deal. Wolf can play a similar game, it's just less explosive, but way more consistent. It's really hard for Wario to get any big openings if you play this matchup right. You're never going to be landing on top of an up tilt because your aero mobility. You still have a great projectile. He can eat it, but you can put it in a lot of places where he's not going to have the space to do that. And you're not really using it to hit him, you're just using it to control the stage. If the Wolf plays it where they're just like hitting your shield and stuff, Wario can definitely get some openings. Also, along with Wolf, kind of naturally low profiling a lot of the time. And Wario's neutral also doesn't work as well as it does on Falco and the Fox. It's just, you work really hard as Wario if the Wolf is playing it correctly. But you do have great out of shield as Wario and you do have great edge guards, but it's definitely not enough to make it an even matchup. Villager, I can't see it. I'm not too experienced, but Wolf is a lot better of a character, and this is the type of character Wolf has every answer for. The thing about Laser is it doesn't matter if a character has multiple projectiles. Laser's probably better than all your projectiles, maybe even combined. And I just have a reflector. If I reflect something, I can act immediately out of it. No idea why, but you can do that. I'm so mobile, like I just have all the answers. I don't even have to explain. Toon Link, very similar thing. They're going to be playing it differently than Young Link, but you're going to be playing it the same. Toon Link has better statistics in terms of weight and speed, especially air mobility, and like he's floatier, so that can help him in terms of disadvantage and recovery. But his recovery itself, the distance is a little worse. Your Nair is still disjointed below you. It's going to beat the recoveries. Your Nair is also really active. You might catch them tethering to the ledge. It's bad. Terry, I'm going to put in advantage. Maybe big advantage. I'll think about it as we talk about it. But you're a lot more mobile. Laser is amazing. You have simple 2 frames. But sometimes he can live a little long because they get to recover high pretty often. And you can't just like simply edge guard them. You're working a lot harder in terms of percentages and like hit for hit. they have a lot harder time getting that one opening. But if they do get that one opening, they're going to be doing a lot more than you ever did. But if you play it really slow and you're willing to go to time and you pick the right stages, shoot a lot of laser, interact as little as possible, it's a winning matchup. There's no way it's not a winning matchup. It's just really annoying because the one time you go in and press a button, they parry it or they jab you and like all of a sudden you're taking 1,000,000 damage. So I don't know if I want to put it in big advantage. I'm gonna put this in big advantage. I'm heavily practiced in this matchup. I think Wolf may be the best possible pick against Sonic, if not one of them, but I think he might be the best possible character against Sonic. Laser is like the best projectile you could want. It beats spin dash. It's super simple and effective. Big damage. Like, he can do like 10% sometimes. He can't punish cross up dash attack. If you read as homing attack, he dies at like 60%. Nair is disjointed below him, like I said. So if he's spin dashing, like let's say this is Sonic, or yeah, this is Sonic spin dashing. Nair is disjointed and it'll always win. You can throw a lot of stuff out preemptively that beats a lot of things. The scariest part is edge guarding, but Sonic has to set up really heavily to get that, and you have to fuck up a couple times for you to die ridiculously early. You do a lot more damage with your air mobility. If he spin dashes your shield and he decides to escape rather than doing like a homing attack, if you guess right and you chase him in the air when he escapes, you have the mobility and the hitboxes to possibly get an opening. So Sonic can't just play his game for free. I think a great thing about Wolf is Wolf gets to decide whether the game goes to time or not, which is crazy because Sonic doesn't usually have that struggle. Sonic usually gets to control the whole pace, but my mobility, my laser, my damage output, like Wolf gets to do whatever he wants if you know the matchup. I really think it's great. Snake has great out of shield and he's also just very obnoxious. You have to watch your buttons. Sometimes having big hitboxes can be scary against Snake because you might accidentally hit a grenade. You can obviously play around that. Wolf has a great grab and a great grab game. You have a simple projectile that can mess with Snake's setup. You never want to let Snake just play for free. If you have the means to annoy them, it makes them harder to set up and it makes them a lot less accurate, and you might get chip damage. If you shoot a laser and Snake's messing up their setups and they're blowing themselves up, they're gonna start getting antsy. They're gonna start doing weird stuff. They're gonna start misplacing things. It makes it easier for you. But Snake can definitely get bullied in a lot of times. You have to really know when he's at his weakest. Snake has a really rough disadvantage. But Snake's pluses that make it doable for Snake is that he recovers high a lot, and you're never gonna really explode Snake for going high unless you're point blank and you read like a jump. Snake being as good as he is and like the things I just listed, I don't think it's too bad for him. The thing about Wolf that makes so many matchups winning is there's so much room for Wolf to adapt and play differently than vice versa. Like 99% of the time that's the case because Wolf is just that good. You just have to be willing to be able to play all these matchups differently. Belmonts, definitely big advantage. They're way slower than you. Projectile based character. We've already talked about this. They're just a weaker character than you in general.
Okay.
There's no way you can't just win. I'm sorry, by the way, if you guys play some of these weird niche characters and I don't go too in depth to the matchup because I just don't know the very specifics. Even if I don't, Wolf definitely wins. Like, let's not lie to ourselves. We might have the first even matchup here. So let's talk about what you can do against Shulk. You have the mobility and the projectile and better frame data, and you don't get outranged as heavily as you think because of the frame data, and Wolf has pretty huge range deceptively. You can wait out the Monado arts you really want to wait out with your mobility and laser. Like, there's no way you can't wait out whatever you're scared of in that moment. What Shulk has that's scary is he can literally forward air through the stage and just kill you. He also has that drop down up B from ledge, so like edge guarding is rough. There's no way you can't take the L and sometimes recover high and take damage rather than risking death. That's a big thing Wolf players need to work on. You definitely have better mobility than Shulk and frame data, so there's no way you can't ice him out. And your moves generally just do good damage. So stray hits even do good damage to the Monado arts you want to get rid of too. So there's no way you can't just like chip away at this character. Especially if you know what stages to go to. I'm not saying I do. I don't have a lot of experience. But it's like I said earlier, there's no way you don't have a way to win with Wolf. But Shulk is really good, and there's a lot to be worried about, so I don't know if I'm comfortable putting this in advantage. Before we get further into this matchup chart, I have infinite faith in Wolf. I think he's one of the best possible picks in the game in every scenario. I think he's top 5 at worst. Would it be crazy if I put Sheik in even? Sheik has better frame data. She can avoid a lot of shit that's worrying for her if she plays it right. A lot of the time she can play at a distance where she can throw needles and punish her laser and then shield the laser at the same time. Wolf has better stray hits in terms of damage and kill power. Wolf's laser does more damage than the needles. Sheik definitely has a slightly easier time ledge trapping and edge guarding. In terms of edge guarding, way easier, but in terms of ledge trapping specifically, ledge traps Wolf slightly better. Sheik has really good neutral get up and roll. The animations, the startup is the same. So Wolf has a really hard time playing reactionary at the ledge compared to her. There's that vanish untechable shit. There's no way she can't kill you for doing a bad side B recovery. Her out of shield's way better. Her kill confirms are way more likely to happen because of her having better out of shield and her being able to hit your shield for free. I'm gonna go with even because of all these factors. But it's definitely nothing Wolf can't do, because if Wolf gets the right read, he definitely kills you way earlier for it. But I'm gonna go with even. I think that's that. Samus, I'm gonna put that in big advantage. This isn't our first rodeo with the zoners. Samus is a bit heavy, so you might have to work a little harder. But laser is literally better than her projectiles in my opinion, along with the reflector. You can actually out of shield some things sometimes too with up smash. You're very mobile, so you can avoid a lot of the corner traps. You don't have to sit and shield as much as a lot of other characters do, so you don't have to worry about her crazy grab as much. You can play pretty airborne since you have essentially a shield in the air with your reflector for the projectiles. I'm gonna go with big advantage. He's the slowest of the fighting game characters, which is a big deal. If you dedicate to playing lasers and stray hits and being really obnoxious with your air mobility, there's definitely no way for Ryu to consistently do Ryu stuff. You just have to be willing to play the game to time. The 2 frames are pretty easy because Ryu doesn't snap ledge. You can even get cheeky and do a lot of flash stuffs when they're recovering. If they have to Tatsu, they just get spiked or back aired. You just got to be careful because if you hit their shield, you die. Parry or not, you can die for it. Your pressure on other characters isn't even that good, so on fighting game characters it's especially not good. Their projectile is pretty meaningless. You don't even have to reflector it if you don't want to. Your projectile is broken. Pretty simple matchup. It's just boring because it's Ryu and you can't fight or else you are risking losing. But I think it's a little better than Terry. Roy, I'm gonna put in, let's do even for now. Roy has way better shield pressure, way better out of shield, way better parry punishes. Wolf is pretty much limited to lasering, grabbing, and sometimes some tilts. Wolf can definitely tech chase hard. Wolf's nair's disjointed below him, like I've said a million times. So if Roy's up being, they'll trade a lot of the time and Roy dies. So in a way, I like it more than Chrom because of that scenario. It's really simple and effective. It's really hard to press any buttons. You really have to limit yourself and take your time and capitalize hard off grabs because those are your most common openings. Is it losing? That's so sad. I don't like it when Wolf loses. Yeah, I'll go with losing for now. I was talking about how creative you can get with Wolf's matchups and how many options you have and you always have a playstyle to win with. But Roy limits Wolf really well with what I said earlier about the neutral in terms of shield pressure, parry punishes, out of shield. Roy does that a lot simpler and better. But it's super doable because of your grab follow-ups, tech chases, laser, nair trading with the up B. Those are the most important things from my knowledge, but it's hard because Wolf is faster, Roy's faster on the ground along with having similar mobility in the air. So it really feels like your Wolf is playing keep up from my experience. Rosa, big advantage. Two-framing her specifically is pretty easy with F tilt and down smash. Luma just gets bullied. You can shoot lasers at her face sometimes. Rosa's really big, so you get to cross her up easily. You get to space aerials easily. She's light. Sometimes you gotta play it a bit slow, but you can really get rid of Luma easily. I haven't played it a lot, but when I did play it, I really enjoyed it in terms of being able to win easily. Let's go to Robin, projectile character that's also very slow with an exploitable recovery. Another day in the office for Wolf in terms of reflecting shit, having a better projectile than her. It's not easy. And when you're slow on the ground, you might be shielding a lot, and you're not going to be punishing these cross-ups from Wolf, especially cross-up dash attack. But Robin is a scary character in her own right. She has a lot of crazy weird stuff. So let's talk about what R.O.B does. They both kind of bully each other's shield. R.O.B's bigger, so I'd say R.O.B actually has a hard time with cross-ups if he doesn't have gyro in his hand. But R.O.B has crazy edge guards, crazy ledge trapping among the whole cast. R.O.B is really hard to KO, especially if he recovers high. Recovering high against Wolf can be really good because one, you're not dealing with Wolf ledge trapping, and two, he can't just go up there and like destroy you. It's all very reactable in my opinion. But you can definitely bully R.O.B a little bit with his own gyro, with your air mobility and follow-ups. Wolf has a lot of access to cross-ups. The only thing you really have to worry about is up smash, which is like frame 9 or something, which is very good, but you can definitely bully R.O.B sometimes. You have to be careful shooting your laser because his laser will do more damage, but you can definitely find your spots. Wolf's parry punishes can be pretty weak sometimes if you're not doing the uppy stuff. But even then, you might not even be able to sometimes. And parrying R.O.B's Nair is pretty important. And if you're just getting a simple tilt or something, I don't know how amazing that is. I would personally rather play Wario against R.O.B. I can recover high myself as Wario against R.O.B. Not deal with his ledge trapping or early kills, along with bullying him, having better out of shield than him, being able to actually kill him early. But Wolf can definitely do it. He's Wolf, but I think I'd go with even on this one. This one actually might just be normal advantage. Ridley 2 frames easily, edge guards easily, has the range to keep up with Wolf's mobility, so Wolf can't just get out of disadvantage for free. He has multiple jumps to try to bait lasers. Pretty decent out of shield versus Wolf 2. Wolf's just a better character. He can tech chase Ridley pretty easily because of his size. Laser is still really hard to deal with despite Ridley's extra jump because of his size, and he doesn't have any crazy stats. Fireball is really good off stage actually for Ridley. It forces Wolf to do a specific type of recovery, but it's definitely nothing Wolf can adapt to. Wolf is just a better character. PT, I'm gonna go with slight advantage. None of the Pokemon have any mobility comparable to Wolf. Laser versus Ivysaur and Squirtle is really brutal because they're both too slow, along with Razor Leaf not even being a comparable projectile. And then Charizard is Charizard. He has the ground speed, but it's, you know what I mean? Like, do you really want to do that? Laser is hard for different reasons because of Charizard's size. Wolf has to play it really slow and play it kind of hit for hit, but it's really hard for Trainer to get any real opening because of laser and air mobility. And Wolf's recovery can be very bursty, and a lot of the times when PT's edge guarding, they're setting something up like a switch, and usually you're back on stage or you're on the ledge before they can even finish setting up. And along with Squirtle's down tilt, never really hitting Wolf's straight up uppy. So if you notice they're not switching, you can just do that, and Squirtle has to actually go off stage. Pit has pretty rough mobility despite having the big jumps, and Wolf can kind of like simply effectively juggle him and whatnot. Arrow is definitely a worse projectile than Laser. They both have reflectors though, so if they're not using projectiles at all, Wolf's kind of just going to bully him. And I just think it's as simple as Wolf being a better character. There's not too much specifics to it, but I can't think of any reason for it to be really bad for Pit. Piranha Plant, there's some projectiles there. That's already a bad sign if you heavily rely on it because of Wolf's mobility and reflector, and his projectile is usually better than yours. So the fact that he's anti-projectile with a better projectile than you is really scary, along with Piranha Plant being slow, very two-frameable recovery, bad frame data on a lot of moves, like he doesn't auto cancel a lot of the time. It's not easy for Plant. Plant just being not a great character compared to Wolf. Wolf is one of Olimar's worst matchups. Nair being disjointed below him comes in clutch, really clutch here, so you get a lot of landings. If Olimar tries to contest it with the Pikmin, it just doesn't do anything because just Pikmin are, I don't know how to describe it, but like if he tries to up smash a Wolf landing and you Nair, Olimar might even get hit for it. Olimar's really light. Things like fair back air, 2 frames just obliterate him. He just slices at the Pikmin. Huge hitboxes, crazy mobility. It's kind of like Cloud versus Olimar in 4, where Olimar's just getting fucking bullied. It's really hard for Olimar to consistently cover characters that are just all over the screen, rather than like having a general like place where they're gonna land, where they're gonna press buttons. Like Wolf can be everywhere at once. Pikachu, a lot of people really think this is hard for Wolf. I'm not gonna disagree, but I'm saying there's a lot of room for growth. I could even go as far as to say this is an even matchup. We'll see if I put it in losing. It's very possible, but let me talk about it first. Wolf's Reflector is a really important neutral tool here because Pikachu uses a lot of Thunder Jolt, but specifically Pikachu uses a lot of Thunder Jolt as an approach. You can tell by how Pikachu's drifting with the full hop Thunder Jolt if they're going to approach with it. And if you reflect something with Wolf, you can immediately act out of it. You can do anything. You can jump immediately, spot dodge immediately, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of the time, you can get guaranteed hits if you recognize they are committing to the T-Jolt approach based on how they're drifting. This is another matchup where I really like to sometimes take the L and just recover straight onto the stage rather than risking a 50-50 or some gas and dying at 0. I'll just take some big damage and try to reset. Your hitboxes will win every time. You do a lot of damage with your stray hits, so it's comparable to Pikachu's big combos. But neutral is really good because of laser, reflector, your air mobility, and your hitbox size. Since you have very generous, long-lasting, big hitboxes that are also strong, quick attack reads are very simple and effective to cover and can sometimes result in Pikachu just dying for it. If you've watched my Wolf enough, you've probably seen me do that to Pikachu, where I just kill them with a quick attack read. Despite neutral being so good, it's hard to say it's a winning matchup. Pikachu is a slightly better character than Wolf, and Pikachu can effortlessly take stocks off of one opening, and it's hard to ignore that. Like if Pikachu's killing you at 0 without even having to really try, that's scary. I really think this matchup has a lot of potential for Wolf. Pichu, I haven't played it as much, but I'm gonna just put it in slight advantage. I'm sure neutral can be slightly similar. Pichu is really small. Aren't they just like, they're like the same fucking size, but Pichu's a worse character than Pikachu. It's as simple as that. I don't have too much experience. If I had to play this matchup, I'd probably pick Wolf over Wario. Wolf's just a slightly better character, dude. Maybe not even slightly anymore. This might be a little surprising, but I'm actually gonna put it in losing. This matchup is very even a lot of the time, but Palutena's edge guarding is better, along with her 2 framing and ledge trapping being a little bit more consistent and effective, along with Palutena being able to recover straight up on the stage with less lag than Wolf a lot of the time. Palutena has slightly more options to get out of disadvantage despite Wolf having better air mobility. Laser doesn't do too much in this matchup. Her reflector is pretty solid, along with having not very much lag. It's very hard to explain the specifics of this, but I think they play a similar game and Palutena just slightly edges them out here. Having a quicker back air to take that is also invincible and take stocks is really good here too. Spacing back airs won't really get you punished hard ever because Wolf has weird out of shield. If you get parried, it really won't result in much either. And so Palutena is a tough character for a lot of people, me included, in terms of picking an on paper good matchup. I'd probably just go Diddy Kong. I think Diddy Kong wins. Peach, I'm gonna put in a small advantage. Wolf can really dictate where Peach goes on the stage. She can't do a lot of things for free. She can't even pull turnips for free because of laser. Wolf has great hitboxes, better mobility. Peach is really slow, so that helps him ice her out. Turnips can be very annoying off stage. Peach's damage output can be very annoying. Peach's shield pressure can be very annoying because of Wolf's out of shield being a little weaker. So you have to really play very airborne, very laser heavy, very straight hits in terms of getting her out of the air and making her respect that. And if you notice she's pulling a lot of turnips, you got to make sure you let her know that she can't do that for free with laser. You're not going to be edge guarding or two framing her. I wouldn't think. She can recover high, along with her recovery just being really good in general. I would definitely say Wolf has way more potential to have multiple types of ways to beat Peach. I would play it similar to Wario because they both have great air mobility. Wolf and Wario shoot a lot of laser, straight hits in the air, really try to avoid interacting in terms of those scramble situations because Peach will win that every time because she has great frame data, better out of shield, better shield pressure. So I would just play pretty lame because getting hit isn't worth it. This is really bad for Pac-Man. It's like I said, these zoners, like you play it the same. Wolf does really well with Pac-Man's items specifically. He can run away with that mobility, keep shooting laser with the fruits in hand. 2 lasers take out a hydrant. It becomes like 3 if you're using laser a lot. Shoot lasers at it and you're kind of forcing Pac-Man to hit it towards you, then you reflect it, repeat. Pac-Man just can't do shit in neutral. He has some great edge guards. He has some setups that can get earlier kills than you, but you're really gonna ice him out. And it's kind of like how I talked about with Sonic. Pac-Man's gonna try to time you out. He's like one of the least interesting characters in the game in that sense. Like, he's very anti-competitive. Like, he does everything in his power to not play the game, but Wolf doesn't let that happen. Wolf's like, fuck your hydrant, I'll take your items, I'll do more damage than you, I have better hitboxes than you, I'm super mobile, I decide when this game ends. Like, that's how I feel when I'm playing Wolf versus these types of characters. You can't just time me out. I have mobility, I can jump in and be aggressive if I want, I can just get rid of the hydrant. Like, it's bad. It's pretty bad for Pac-Man. It sucks that my most experience with Ness as Wolf is Wi-Fi, and I think specifically I'm having a hard time with that. Let's just think about it and talk about it a bit. I practiced it a bit. Best Ness beat me quite a few times, and I tried to practice it, and I learned a couple things that really helped me. Nesses like to do the PK fire onto the platform, like for that like diagonal pressure, and then they come in and do their stuff. Wolf can preemptively shoot lasers up there and be like, hey, I know you're willing to do this, and trying to control that area of the stage, like the platforms, is really good, and Wolf can do that. Wolf also has bigger hitboxes, he has some disjoints. Ness has really simple and effective edge guards. Sometimes you're gonna have to force yourself to go on stage. There's a lot of weird stuff. Two framing him has been pretty hard, surprisingly, because of like how long he can wait, and sometimes if he's PK thundering right next to the stage, I feel like I don't have really many ways to exploit him. Ness also has better out of shield and better shield pressure. It's definitely nothing too bad for Ness, I don't think, but I think offline, if I had more experience, maybe I could push it up to big advantage. But there's no way Wolf doesn't beat Ness. I think there's a lot of potential for me to improve against Ness with Wolf. We'll see who I continue to use against Ness in the future. I like Diddy Kong versus Ness because I feel like I don't have to worry about trades as much because I don't have to get as close, because I can set up shop with banana and peanuts and stuff and choose my openings a lot more wiser. But with Wolf, sometimes I still find myself trading, especially when I'm trying to ledge trap. I think it might be a Wi-Fi thing, but I definitely think Wolf wins. I'm gonna go with either big advantage or advantage. This, along with Ness, I've had trouble with online, and I've been grinding them specifically. There's a lot of things Wolf can do. You can play very reactionary with your laser, and if Game & Watch tries to bucket, you can literally just dash attack from across the stage, or like not across the whole stage, but bucket's really committal, and you can just hit him. And you can just play that type of neutral, very reactionary with the laser. Like if he commits to a run, it's going to be harder for him to go into shield or something. Shoot a laser at him. If he jumps, shoot a laser at him. You can play very reactionary in that sense, because Game & Watch isn't very quick and you are in the air, so you have a lot of time to set up your space and play very reactionary. There's a couple specific things you have to do than usual. Down smash at the ledge is a lot worse because Game & Watch has a very good neutral get up. He has very good reversals from the ledge because of his up B being so fast. I like to use F Smash. F Smash is active for 4 frames. You might catch that neutral get up if you're lucky. You might catch a reversal of him getting off the ledge. And instead of F tilt, because F tilt has a little bit of end lag and it's a bit committal, for the same reason I don't use down smash, I replace F tilt with down tilt. There's a lot of things you can do to beat Game & Watch, and it's definitely advantage or big advantage. Basically, Wolf does very well, and if you play Wolf, I recommend playing Wolf in this matchup. I think it's one of the better picks against Game & Watch. Wolf is just very good against those weird niche characters. He always has ways to beat them simply and effectively. That's the key words there. Usually, your moves can deal with everything. Yeah, I'm gonna just go with big advantage. It's still scary because Game & Watch is just really, I think he's really unfair and degenerate, but I'm not gonna let that deter me from putting in big advantage because you definitely should be winning pretty hard. We have Min Min. I'm just gonna put it in big advantage. Don't act like I know everything. I don't think any of us do. But Wolf's lingering Nair will just murder her off stage. Min Min likes to set up a lot of like pressure and stuff, but Wolf is so mobile that he can kind of always be in a space that's awkward for Min Min. Also, Laser's transcendent or whatever, so it'll just go through her arms and hit her. She definitely can't just like play her typical flowchart, and Wolf is just a better character. Mewtwo, big advantage. You can 2-frame him quite well, you can ledge trap him quite well. You have a reflector, he has a reflector, so projectiles get weird, and Mewtwo relies on his projectiles a bit more than Wolf, so if there's less projectiles going on, it makes it even easier for you. You can definitely bully him, you can definitely cross his shield up, you can definitely dash attack cross up. Basically, you can shield pressure a bit more than these other matchups without being too scared. You're definitely gonna outrange him sometimes. You're definitely gonna kill him early. You're definitely gonna trap a lot of landings by like with death, like with up tilt and up smashes. And you can definitely avoid a lot of the scrambles where he like throws a shadow ball and approaches because you have such great mobility. Meta Knight definitely has the tools to set up consistent edge guards and covers a lot of space with the multiple jumps and the quick hitboxes. Meta Knight has lacking mobility despite the multiple jumps, so Wolf can definitely bully him. It's something I've just always tried to do to Meta Knight with any character. He's jumping a lot, but it's hard for him to go anywhere without committing to a move. Like he can't just land. Like he can dimensional cape or something. But yeah, like you can definitely throw out a lot of hitboxes from below him, and he's gonna have a hard time. He's definitely gonna have to commit to dimensional cape a lot, and the more he does, the easier it might be to deal with it. But you're definitely gonna outrange him. You're definitely gonna be able to play around dash attack. You're definitely gonna be able to like snipe him out with lasers when he's approaching on the ground. And then if he starts playing air to air, that's great. He might have multiple jumps, but you have better mobility and range. This is just, I don't have as much experience. I wish I could help a bit more, but I would definitely have faith in Wolf in this matchup. Mega Man, big advantage. There's another projectile character that also has a susceptible to recovery, can get 2-framed. He also can't really juggle you with up airs because of your reflector. You can kind of go in on Mega Man. From my experience, it's kind of like Pac-Man, where like Mega Man's general game plans like just have a hard time working. Marth, I don't know, I haven't really done it, but I'm gonna put it in advantage. The thing about Marth and Lucina is they have great range and they control the stage really well, but they don't throw out hitboxes like rapidly. And Wolf definitely has the mobility to find those openings and the hitboxes to find those openings. Laser is really great in this matchup. Obviously, Marth and Lucina don't have projectiles. You won't be edge guarding them though. You'll definitely just have to focus on ledge trapping them. But I think this is another case of Wolf just outclassing Marth. It's not really Marth's fault. There isn't anything specific I can think of other than laser. So I'll just say the same for Lucina. You got to be careful with touching their shield though. They have a great up B because of your mobility and your projectile and their lack of it. I'm not going to say you really have to touch their shield that much. Next up, we got Mario. Let's think about it a bit more. I definitely don't think it's losing. You can definitely camp Mario pretty well. It's just pretty risky. Mario puts in a lot less effort in terms of like taking stocks, and like Mario's just a really easy character. It's hard to think of specifics. You definitely can't touch a shield that well. He can definitely touch your shield well, but at least you have the air mobility to get away. So like you definitely have to work very hard, but there's no way it's not doable. It's just really scary. To me, it does feel harder than Pikachu, which says a lot. It could be slightly losing if I think of it that way. Like, I'd rather fight Pikachu with Wolf than Mario. That's so strange. Is this actually losing? Yeah, I'm gonna go with losing. Mario's a messed up character, very messed up. I'm gonna put normal advantage. Wolf exploits Luigi very hard on stage, but sometimes off stage he's not as great as some other characters. My favorite personal matchup against Luigi that I've ever done is probably PT. PT doesn't do as well on stage, but I just shark platforms really well with Ivysaur, Edge Guard, and the game ends a lot quicker, so it's a little less stressful on my mental. But Wolf can definitely ice Luigi out with lasers, better hitboxes, way better mobility. He might not edge guard as hard, but he ledge traps harder. And Luigi definitely struggles at recovering, but he also struggles at getting off the ledge too. It's very easy to just play your Wolf game against Luigi, but there's always the threat of Luigi just being really dumb, but it's definitely winning. But I'm gonna say it's not big advantage because you're not gonna just hit Luigi and then edge guard him. I'm not saying you won't, but it's definitely will be happening less often than a character like PT, where you get like a Squirtle hit and then all of a sudden he's dead. You know what I mean? A lot of characters against Luigi just hit him and kill him. Lucas, I'm gonna put this in big advantage. Projectile based character. You have a better projectile than he does. You have a reflector. He can absorb it, but against Ness and Lucas, I'm sure you guys remember how I talked about playing against Bucket. You want to play very reactionary with your lasers, just like versus Game & Watch. You still need to use it for the conditioning. Even if they absorb it, it's no big deal. Like, it's not the end of the world. You got to keep using it, because you can't just let them control the stage and like press all the stuff in the world. You definitely outclass the PK characters. I'll put this in normal advantage, strictly for the fact that I don't think you're going to consistently explode Lucario stocks. I'd rather go Wario for the safety of being able to waft Lucario. Wolf just outclasses Lucario as a character. Lucario has some pretty good out of shield and some pretty good shield pressure, but you can reflect Aura Sphere, of course. You can two-frame him often. You can ledge trap him pretty well. You can punish him for recovering on stage pretty well too. They do that often. This is probably one of Lucario's harder matchups, despite he probably gets to live long. But I would rather go Wario. I think Wario wins a bit harder. And I think against Lucario, you want to play a character that wins hard, just for your sanity. Little Mac, a case of Little Mac being bad, Wolf being broken, two-framed and edge guard, laser just ruins the character because he's purely ground-based. You have the air mobility, just get away from him if you really want to. Do I really have to explain this matchup? All right, moving on. Link, projectile-based character. You're not going to edge guard him that well, but you're going to ledge trap him well. Projectiles are meaningless. Your projectiles are better than all of his combined. He has pretty great shield pressure, but that's all right. You got to play it pretty slow. It can be kind of annoying, but you can definitely do it. Kirby. Kirby's very slow with no projectile in every way. The multiple jumps are kind of delaying the inevitable when they're like above you. It's kind of like Little Mac. Do I really have to explain? It's a really big case of being outclassed. So let's keep it going. We got King K. Rool. You got to play it pretty slow because you're not going to kill him that early ever. You destroy him in neutral. You tech chase the hell out of him. You can bully his shield. You can just cross him up for free because he's big. He's just a worse character. But there are some heavies that do pretty well. We'll get into that. King K. Rool not being one of them. King K. Rool's kind of projectile based too. That's not going to work. I'm gonna put Ken with Terry in the advantage part. Ken's a lot faster than Ryu. That's really scary. And so there are gonna be times where you're in that scramble scenario where he's hitting your shield and you have no answers. But laser is just as effective. Edge guarding is the same deal. You can even get cheeky and get some spikes and some wolf flashes on his recovery. There's very little room for error when you're playing with him on stage. Wolf has so much more potential to win the matchup than Ken. Ken is going to be doing the same thing. Wolf has so many ways to adapt to this type of archetype. Laser is effective, as I said. You can always retreat with your mobility. Ken is just a scary character for everyone, so I won't put it in big advantage. Like, the speed really helps, along with he presses more buttons on your shield too. So it's a lot better than Ryu, I think. We have Diddy. I'm gonna go with big advantage. Another heavy that I don't think fits the category of doing well. Just a case of getting bullied. Gordo's useless. He can definitely set up ledge traps and edge guard, but he's gonna get ledge trap for free. Lasers is amazing. Even if he like inhales it, who cares? Like you're still conditioning very well. He gets tech chased super heavily because he's huge. A lot of kill confirms work well on him for a while, like fair back air, spikes. That's the thing about a lot of Wolf matchups is there's a lot of the time there aren't specifics. It's like, all right, this character's just worse and that's it. Moving on, we have Puff, big advantage, just outclassed, outranged heavily. Puff is very slow. Puff can't have any control of the stage or the pace of the match. Joker, I'm gonna put in slightly losing, but it's very doable. I know I have Wolf friends that think Wolf might win or go even. I'm gonna go with losing. It's kind of similar to Palu. Recovering and like the edge guarding slightly give Joker the edge here. Wolf has to heavily rely on grab, tech chases, and lasers. Joker can always keep up with Wolf's air mobility, but he also has more gimmicks and mix-ups with gun. He has a lot of counterplay to laser. He can get a lot of meter. Arsene down B is amazing against Wolf. There's a lot of angles you can do to help, but it's still a crazy threat. And if a Joker's aware of you dealing with Arsene down B, and let's say you recover on the stage, you'll just die or something to a smash attack. Joker has similar grab range frame data, but bigger grab range. I think it's just a small case of a character outclass. Wolf kind of has a hard time ledge trapping because he has to really preemptively put out hitboxes, and it can lead to a lot of counterplay for Joker because Joker is very evasive and jumpy and mobile. Joker has some of the best corner pressure in the game, and Wolf has weird out of shield, so sometimes he gets trapped. But it's nothing that isn't doable. Wolf's stray hits do big damage, so they'll take away a lot of meter. Wolf has great 2-frames against Arsene because he's a great 2-framer in general. If he lands a laser, it's big damage, especially against Arsene. It'll take away a good chunk of meter for just a projectile. I think a lot of the setups you want as Wolf, like a grab, landing forward air, I think Joker has a lot of ways to just not be there. Kind of like how Wolf has the ability to not be there against like zoners. He has like infinite air dodges with the gun. He's so fast, he's so evasive, he's so bursty. I think Joker really can play it properly and make it so he's never in that position to get hit too hard. Isabelle, it's similar to Villager. It's like, what are these projectiles gonna do? Incineroar, I'm gonna put normal advantage. Incineroar is very slow, which is very exploitable for Wolf with his air mobility and laser. Incineroar can destroy Wolf's recovery whether he's up being or side being. He can revenge laser, and revenge just got buffed. If you try to fight Incineroar, you're risking a lot, is what I'm trying to say. It's kind of like Ryu in the fighting game characters where it's like, you really got to interact as little as possible and find those openings. Incineroar is just a lot worse of a character, but Incineroar has some very strong gimmicks that can definitely work against Wolf. But yeah, there's not much to it. You just got to be really scared of down tilt the ledge. Incineroar can kind of play reactionary with revenge too, so it's pretty scary. You got to be willing to wait out that match, to be honest. You're going to get a lot of grabs because Incineroar is very slow and grounded. I'm going to put a normal advantage here. Ike is a lot slower than Wolf. They're both slow on the ground, but Wolf has that air mobility. Laser is really great against Fire Emblem characters, swords in general, I guess. I don't think either of them have too great out of shield. As long as you don't press multiple buttons on Ike's shield and he doesn't armor you with an up B or something, you should be fine. But I think this is a classic case of laser and grab game. Ike's going to be pretty grounded a lot of the time. If he's too airborne, you're probably going to outclass him there with your mobility and frame data. He can also really effectively deal with the shitty Aethers at ledge. Like, he can spike them, he can wolf flash them. So if you go out there as he's recovering, you can condition him for later if you don't get a kill right then and there. You can gain a lot of information as to like, oh, are they going to air dodge because I'm going off stage? Are they going to side B? Are they going to up B and I am going to wolf flash them? Like, and laser will also just straight up beat Aether if he doesn't like super sweet spot it. I think it's just a solid matchup for Wolf. You just gotta take it slow, get your tech chases, continuously shoot laser until he's at a really high percent. You can get a simple kill, but you're never really going to be scrambling with Ike much. You're never going to be like super face to face with Ike much. You're never going to be straight above Ike much. Oh, it's been a while since I thought about this matchup or played this matchup. Maybe even? Laser is still great despite the low profiling, dashing and whatnot, but sometimes they'll go under it. Inkling has some great trapping and edge guarding with like the aerials and the splat bomb and the down tilt at ledge. That's really frustrating. It's really hard to get any hard openings. Inkling really sets themselves up safely. Wolf's out of shield is pretty weak against Inkling. Back air is amazing. I feel like Inkling has a good chance to really ice Wolf out and vice versa. A very lame matchup. I feel like no meaningful hits happen too often. I think they both trap each other pretty hard, but I'm gonna give it to Inkling in the ledge trapping department and edge guarding department. Two framing Inkling isn't too easy. Their recovery is pretty bursty, along with they can get into the perfect position a lot of the time. I don't know, man. It's been a while since I played it, but I think it's a very even matchup. No one's really getting destroyed. It's very neutral based, and I don't think it's right to say Inkling wins either. Ice climbers, big advantage. Laser's better than their ice block and down B stuff. You can bully Nana effectively because you're so mobile that you can it's kind of like Luma, where you're like avoiding the other ice climber while hitting one. It's just like another case of Wolf just being Wolf. You can definitely bully their shield from behind a bit. I don't even know what else to say because I don't have too much specific experience. I think I would rather go Wolf than Wario in this matchup for the extra range and the projectile. Simple and effective separations of the climbers have always been really important, and Wolf can definitely do that. We have Hero, another character that a lot of stuff can get reflected, another slow character, worse frame data. It's one of those scenarios where Wolf kind of gets to ignore a lot of the crazy RNG bullshit with the mobility and the reflector and his own projectile. It's just another case of a projectile based character or a slow based character like not working versus Wolf. I think Greninja might beat Wolf. Greninja deals with laser very well because of his speed, can bully Wolf a lot with pressure, edge guards Wolf very well with the hydro pump and whatnot. I have a lot of people that are better than me at the Greninja matchup. I prefer Wario. Actually, I actually kind of like Wario Greninja, but I don't know. This is definitely either even or losing. I feel like it's going to be hard for Wolf to get any landing aerials, effective laser conditioning. You can definitely two frame, but I don't think Wolf has anything stronger than what Greninja's pluses are in this matchup. But like I said, the losing matchups Greninja or Wolf can easily win anyways. These are just like very small disadvantages. Ganondorf, outclassed, super slow, gets destroyed by laser. Wolf can even go out there and just nair sometimes. You just gotta play it really slow. You can't just abuse Ganon for being Ganon like other characters do. You have to pick it pretty slow because he'll definitely kill you in a couple hits. But you can definitely play it pretty defensive and just laser him out. I think I'm gonna put this in even. Let's talk about it a bit. I haven't really fully thought this one out. I just have a bunch of things in my head. From a Fox perspective, Fox can down smash Wolf's up B and side B easily, super easily. Fox can really overwhelm Wolf. Fox has better parry punishes. Fox bullies Wolf's shield a lot, but there's definitely a few things Wolf can up smash. But I think if Fox plays it correctly, it can definitely be even. What Wolf has, great two frames. He can even go out there and flash a lot of fire foxes and just kill them. He has better damage per hit, better kill power. But I think Wolf, it's kind of like Roy in the sense where like Wolf's playing keep up a lot of the time. And I feel like a lot of Wolf's strengths against Fox actually kind of has on him. But I think Fox's faults in this matchup make it a bit even. It might be controversial. I feel like a lot of people would think Wolf's wins, but I really think Fox has a lot of potential in that matchup. Falco's a bit outclassed as a character. Falco's also slow, like Wolf is on the ground. That really helps Wolf dictate the pace of the match. Falco has the worst recovery of the three. That really hurts. Falco has great landing coverage, and he's really great in scrambles, but I wouldn't say his out of shield is as amazing. So Wolf gets to kind of ignore Falco, but if he's shielding, you can still kind of bully him. I think it's just a small case of Falco just being a worse character. I think that's kind of just like pretty much objective. And since Falco's slow on the ground, you don't have to use laser that much. You can kind of play reactionary without it. So Falco has a really great reflector, but I don't think it helps him as much as it would if Falco was like fast or something. We have Duck Hunt, as you'd expect, very bad matchup. Projectile based character versus a character with a better projectile than you and a reflector. And Wolf just super outclasses the character. He gets crossed up for free. You can just play your typical Wolf game, like mindless, like free flow Wolf game. You'll probably shit on Duck Hunt. Slow ass character. Just a bad character, man. The fact that Doc's all the way over here and Mario's all the way here says a lot. Being slower than Mario really helps Wolf dictate the match. Doc has some crazy out of shield, but you don't really have to hit his shield because you have so much more freedom than he does. DK is one of the heavies that does a lot better than K. Rool and Diddy here. DK has like some crazy edge guards, some crazy throw follow-ups. He can box with Wolf pretty well, but
but he gets shut down pretty heavily by laser. He gets ledge trapped in 2 frames pretty well, especially ledge trapping. Ledge trapping is the #1 thing you want to do here. Along with, because of laser and a wolf's freedom of mobility, you're probably going to land a lot of grabs yourself on DK, and you really want to capitalize on those tech chases. But there is very little room for error against DK specifically, and that's why it can be frustrating as wolf, but you really have to take your time. It's kind of like Ganon, where it's like you want to be able to just destroy him because you're a better character, but you really have to take your time. People like are so frustrated with cargo throw off stage to the point where they think it's a hard matchup, but there's so much more room for you to adapt to it. And I understand the frustration, and I would just go Wario in this matchup because Wario versus heavies. But yeah, DK does a little better than the other heavies. Diddy Kong, I'm gonna put this in big advantage. I think this is one of Diddy's hardest matchups. I don't want to put it in advantage because it's a bit more than just an advantage. I think it's very important for Diddy to control the ground with banana and command grabs, but Wolf has so much freedom. Laser's so good. He outranges Diddy really heavily. I feel like Wolf doesn't respect Diddy Kong as much as other characters have to. It's hard. Like, Diddy Kong is a really great character, so I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and put in an advantage, but it feels wrong to me. It feels like there's a bit of a gray area, but I also don't want to get too specific with numbers or something. I'll just put Dark Pit here. I know he's a little different. I'm gonna put Corrin in advantage here. Corrin's very slow, along with having a pretty shitty projectile in terms of just like throwing it out. The laser is extremely effective here. You can definitely cross her up pretty often. You have a lot of freedom because you're a lot faster than her, along with having a great projectile. But I don't have too much experience, and I know she just got buffed. There's definitely some crazy 2 frames she can set up. She can definitely contest the mobility surprisingly because of her just pure range when you're in disadvantage. I'm gonna put this in small advantage. Laser really dictates the match a lot, and you get to control how much limit he gets. They sit and shield pretty often, so you have to do a lot of grabs. You can't really touch a shield. A lot of 2 framing possibilities. Sometimes you can just go out there and throw out an active hitbox, but it's definitely not easy. Cloud gets to press more buttons than you. Cloud has better out of shield, but it's nothing Wolf can't adapt to. It's just another matchup where you really have to take it slow and capitalize off your tech chases and down throws, because you're definitely going to get more grabs than anything. You're definitely going to be shooting a lot of laser, but don't touch his shield. Chrom, I'm gonna put it in losing with Roy. We talked about Roy with he has better shield pressure, parry punishes. He can really keep up with Wolf's air mobility because they're so fast. I feel like taking stocks is a lot easier because they have just jab. And some characters can just punish jab, but Wolf can't. And I also sometimes prefer to have Chrom's, like, if I was playing Chrom, I would kind of prefer to have Chrom's recovery against Wolf than Roy. If Chrom goes like up and down to the ledge, Wolf can't really do anything about it. And against Roy, that up B trade with the Nair happens a lot, but against Chrom, you have to get a lot more creative with your edge guards. I'm gonna put this in normal advantage. I don't have too much experience, but I think this is probably just a case of Falcon being a worse character. I can see this matchup being heavily based on down throw tech chases. Falcon doesn't have a projectile, so you're definitely gonna be lasering a bit. Falcon has crazy speed, so you have to be careful. But I'm sure you can get 2 frames relatively often. He's definitely gonna have some edge guard setups on you. He has a bit more freedom in terms of movement on the stage. Byleth is extremely slow, so laser is very effective. That arrow isn't even a comparable projectile, along with me having a reflector and them not. You definitely get to bully them. I don't see them having great out of shield behind them. There's a lot of factors that very simple factors that go into a Wolf matchup, so this is actually pretty easy. Byleth is a tether recovery with no mix-ups as well. So Nair is very simple and effective off stage. Bowser Jr., I don't know much, but I'm just gonna put this in big advantage. I think Wolf just super outclasses Jr. I have very little experience. I think Bowser Jr. can get 2 frame pretty easily, and you just have very generous hitboxes to catch Bowser Jr. zooming around the stage. Mech Koopa is useless. I'm gonna put Bowser. It's pretty similar to DK. Bowser has great out of shield. You can't touch a shield. Bowser has great ledge trapping and edge guarding. Angle down F tilt really fucks Wolf up. This is a very frustrating matchup for a lot of Wolf players, but I think you really have to take your time. You're definitely going to tech chase the hell out of them. Your laser is definitely going to be very effective. You have to be willing to recover on the stage sometimes if they commit to certain types of edge guards, kind of like other matchups like Pika. It's one of those things where a lot of Bowser's mechanics really do well against basic Wolf strategies, but there's no way Wolf can't just laser it out, grab it out. Wolf can get 2 frames himself. They're a lot harder than Bowser's edge guards, but it's possible. I just really think you just got to pick the right stages, take your time, be willing to super camp him out. So Bayo has pretty great out of shield. Bats Within can be pretty annoying against Wolf specifically. I don't know, she's so sluggish. Laser's so effective. You can 2-frame her a lot of the time. Sometimes you can't punish her laggy stuff with a hard punish out of shield like other characters can. I don't know, man. I'm gonna give it to big advantage. And then we have Banjo, projectile based character. He's fast on the ground, that's pretty helpful. He's not gonna box or have great out of shield. He's just gonna get abused like the other projectile based characters. So I think that's it. We have Mies. I have very little experience, but Gunner is projectile based. Sword Fighter is actually pretty heavily projectile based too. I'm just gonna put all of them in big advantage for now. I'm sorry for not putting too much thought into it. Honestly, I'm a little surprised at how many matchups I have in losing. I didn't expect that. I expected to have Prom, Roy, Palutena, and maybe Joker. But Greninja and Mario, after thinking more, I think I'm satisfied. Yeah, if you look at this, guys, if you're interested in Wolf, look how good he is. Look at this spread. Look at all these annoying characters that he just invalidates.